When you Harry Potter, but then your doggo says, "Oh, my human, where are you going?" And that's a mood for the day.
My fellow Zoomers, I hope you all realize that's gonna be us someday. Eventually, Gen Z are gonna be seen as cringy and sad the same way we see millennials. I just hope you know that we're gonna be in for it one day. Hi again, guys, and it's not like we don't make fun of the stuff people our age do already. Bullying is more certain than death. What I mean specifically is that the little shared quirks and behaviors we all have, all the things we generally like, are going to age with us, and they will become part of a stereotype of what the average Zoomer is like in the eyes of the younger folk, the same way we have done for millennials. The good news is, history repeats itself, so we can probably get ahead of the curve at least a little bit, which is why I'm taking some time today to try and look at some examples of what we may be in for, and also just general stuff that I can say something brainless about. Come on, you didn't think you were gonna learn that much from this video, did you? If you enjoy it though, there will be this big card at the end that takes you to another one like it. And did you know that only a fifth of y'all are subscribed with notifications on? I'm over it, but y'all are missing out. If you subscribe and hit that bell icon, you'll never miss an upload. It takes 2 seconds, and it does mean a lot. Plus, you can always undo it if you decide that you hate me later on.
As fun as it is to pick on millennials for being cringy, I don't think Gen Z understands how bad we're gonna have it in about 10 years when Generation Alpha grows up. These are chronically online iPad kids, people who haven't taken their face away from a phone screen ever since they were pushed out of the womb. People whose first words were Roblox and cringe.
The first step to winning any war, and we're not gonna win, by the way, is to know your enemy. And the truth is that the enemy will always know us better than we know them, because we will all be old. They will have a whole lot of stuff to pick us apart about, and we will probably deserve to get dissected like a frog. I think the takedowns they have of us are gonna be fucking hilarious, and probably generally agreeable.
Cringe. You're gonna post like a little casual Instagram photo dump, or like a fisheye photo that's like this, and the comments are just gonna be so brutal. They're gonna terrorize us. They're gonna say shit like, I guess some people never fully recovered from the pandemic. Or something like, look, it's another victim of the Obama administration. Heed my warning.
Consider the warning heeded. Another victim of the Obama administration. It's lines like that which scare me because of how clinical they come off. It's just stated like a diagnosis, like we're the victims of some historical atrocity. I think there's a unique type of lame that each generation views the previous as. Boomers are like stereotypically out of touch and racist and hate gay people or something. Millennials are stereotyped as cringe and not being mature, saying shit like adulting and calling everything with fur a doggo. And what if the Zoomer thing isn't really straight up hate or disdain and more just like pity? They pass us on the street and just literally look down at us. Ugh. You pathetic little thing. Never got over that pandemic, little guy. Now give me your stimulus money. The Among Us stuff is pretty self-explanatory. You're practically already bleeding from the eyes from having seen that. But the thing I want to touch on specifically is the use of sped-up footage. The double-speed video has become something of a staple of the slop that I find funny or that I just watch in general. I need my jokes set at double speed. I need my oddly satisfying videos to be time-lapses. I watch every YouTube video sped up. It kind of reminds me of that so-called Millennial Pause, or a better example, that zoom-in millennials do for emphasis every sentence that they say.
Hi, my name is Lauren. This is a message for everyone who bullied Jake Novak. Screw you. Hear me loud and clear. It is not PC culture that's going to ruin stand-up comedy. It's going to be you. Most of you have never even had a job in the entertainment industry. You've never earned a paycheck from the entertainment industry. I've literally watched content creators get on here and go like, that's not how SNL works.
It's very funny that they all do it, but it's interesting because these behaviors were largely shaped by the tech that they all used back in the day. From what I understand, mainly Snapchat, where it was the first time it had ever been super easy to zoom in and out while recording by just moving your thumb while holding the button down. Same thing with the pause. I remember cameras a few years ago took a second to start recording, so everybody would just wait a little bit before they started speaking. And now they can't make themselves start talking without revving the engine first. Also, a weird side note, when millennials get called on doing the pause in TikToks, it seems like they think we're mad at them, like we're just angry about them waiting a second before speaking by habit. But in reality, the biggest critique I have isn't that they pause before speaking. It's that you have the tools to edit out the dead air to make a more seamless viewing experience, and you have to edit that video on TikTok anyways. That's completely besides the point. Regardless, the sped up footage is something I saw Gen Z start doing when TikTok, formerly Musical.ly, first came out of the womb, where being able to do things in fast motion was a staple feature of the app. It started with people kind of making fun of it with those cringe lip syncs and sped up dancing, but because it was so core to how the app functioned and because the app became huge, it changed the way Gen Z made content, where now every niche of video uses sped up footage in some way. It's just an interesting parallel of how the tools we use to create things are capable of molding how we create things in return. This person specifically pointed out that Gen Z aestheticizes everything, and I think there's definitely truth to that. I have heard the word core put after every single noun in the English language, sometimes after verbs and adjectives too. I think it's mostly a coping mechanism. Like some people turn being terminally online and having no real-life friends growing up into webcore, which is quirky and bright and colorful. Getting bullied at school for the weird shit you like is now just weirdcore. I am guilty of this type of thing, just so we're clear. I have no shame. This one also ties back to my Chronically Online video, where we are like the first generation of toddlers to be fully immersed in the internet since being a fetus. And because of that, we got edgy as fuck, early as fuck, and then also developed several mental disorders that stopped us from doing anything but LARPing as unhinged. Like legit, we will and already do give people our age who do this tomfoolery shit for stuff like this. And I don't see the next generation being any kinder to us about it. And even if they were, would we really deserve their mercy? Gen Z grew up with Omegle, ADHD, depression, eating detergent in a year where literal clowns chased people with knives just cuz. We have a 0% fear factor, and we have no regard for our personal safety. Yet we all have social anxiety. We will body slam cops, spam a serial killer's post with fairy comments, and bully the bunker boy of a president into hiding. But if we ordered a pasta at a restaurant and the waiter brought a bowl of rocks out, we literally wouldn't say a word, and they'd still get a good tip. See, here's the thing with that paragraph. Shut up.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
Ah, the thirst trap. This one is a classic. Definitely not invented by Gen Z, but it was democratized for our generation in a way it never has been before. You used to have to be in magazines and part of a curated group of people who are considered to be drinkable enough to thirst over. But now anybody can post this kind of thirst bait to the internet, including Jake Novak, my hero. And as much as I might dunk on videos like that come off just a little cringe, there are certainly ones that have worked on me. Unfortunately, like most people, I am still attracted to specific things. I am not immune to the bait. Speaking of almost everybody being attracted to something, though, some people are too damn honest about it.
Hey, this man just...
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
I truly believe that Zoomers, if not uniquely horny, are uniquely horny on main. And they are also uniquely open about what they are horny over. Like, people absolutely prostrate themselves in the replies of hot people on Twitter, just begging to have their mouth pissed in. People will go on multi-paragraph rants about how they think things like Azathoth the Lovecraftian Nightmare is uniquely hot. I really just don't think people were as open about saying this shit in the past. Hell, even I'm guilty of it. You just have to take a glance at my second channel to see my long list of sins. Just look at this shit. Going back to the thirst traps, though, they are often part of a specific genre of TikTok that I fear we will be getting shit for till the end of time: POVs.
Can you take me to my boyfriend now?
Yeah, sure. Simp.
I'm not a simp.
Yes, you are.
Pushes me. I'm not a simp. Flinches hard. Everything's good? Yes, I'm okay.
Why did you just flinch so hard?
I don't know.
He's hurting you, isn't he? This type of content did not exist before I was born. You can't convince me it did. Stuff like it, maybe, but this version here is a modern invention. And can we just recognize this for what it really is? These point of view TikToks are like if self-insert fanfiction where you date YouTubers was written by the YouTubers for videos, made with the explicit purpose of getting their fans to pretend that they are dating them.
Am I the asshole for punching my wife and putting both of my children in the adoption center? 37 men.
My next point I think might be a shot in the dark because it could go one of two ways. You all know the Subway Surfer Reddit reading videos that were just mentioned, but I remember when the whole video was just the reading of Reddit. Now you need the gameplay going at the same time, maybe a reaction video at the bottom as well. Our attention spans are absolutely shotgun blasted these days. And while that's true for everybody in existence, we got it the worst because we grew up into it, and I wonder if the next generation will either have their shit together more than us and make fun of us for not being able to focus unless it's three things at once happening, or if they are going to be several levels of volcanic shit worse. I'm a little nervous to find out, but it's kind of exciting.
You are like Papa!
Now, this point isn't specific to Stranger Things, but the whole repeating memes that come from a show or movie does bring up the issue of fandoms. And this is an important one because we have a pretty direct comparison here. Harry Potter has been glued hand in hand with the stereotype of a millennial. It's the thing they all apparently grew up with and allegedly can't let go of in their adulthood. And I think it's very likely that Zoomers will have something like that as well. There will always be that generational multiple movie franchise that spans years that has us all in a vice grip. In this case, I think the best comparison for that is the MCU. Depending on how long it lasts before dying out, it could be a matter of kids thinking that we are old and like old stuff, or that we romanticize specifically old Marvel stuff compared to the new shit. And they think that what comes out in their time is just better because they were there for that hype and not the endgame hype. I think the possible major difference here is that there are a lot more seemingly massive fandoms these days than in the 2000s to early 2010s. So you might see miniature versions of this stereotype happening across smaller groups of Gen Zers. Maybe growing up as an anime fan in the 2020s will come with a unique connotation. If you have massive nostalgia for the Dream SMP, that may have its own stigma attached. I have no idea what kind though, because it really remains to be seen in what ways we'll get torn apart in the future. And on that note, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. That card I mentioned should be on screen. If you enjoyed, be sure to drop a like and subscribe with notifications on, or I will pee and cry at the same time. Don't test me, I've done it a lot. Remember, don't go after anyone I talked about in this video because that's cringe and it's all meant in good fun. I think it's just important that we as Zoomers realize we got it coming. Anyways, this has been Kwite, and I'll see y'all next time.